Today we will be conducting 3 fitness assessments. One of them will be the push-up test, the second will be the 1 repetition maximum bench press, and the third will be the reps to fatigue and bench press. The push-up test is used to assess muscular endurance and muscular strength in the upper body. Muscular endurance is the ability that a subject has to perform repeated contractions over a period of time. The only things that you will need for this test are a mat and your subject. To begin, have your subject start in the standard down position if your subject is a male, or in the standard upward position if your subject is a female, with their hands under their shoulders, hands pointing forward, back straight, and head up at all times, while using their toes as a pivotal point. The subject must elevate their body by extending their elbows and returning to the down position until their chin touches the mat, not their stomach. If needed, you can demonstrate the push-up to your subject and allow them to practice. If your subject cannot perform the push-up on their toes, have them do a modified knee push-up position. This modified position allows the subject to have their knees touch the mat. If your subject needs to rest, they can rest only in the up position. The maximal number of push-ups completed will be counted as the score. The test can be terminated when the subject can no longer perform 2 push-ups. The 1RM bench press strength test is a maximal strength test that is used to assess and measure the maximum muscular strength of the chest, shoulders, and triceps. This test is for subjects who are familiar or have experience with free weights. The 1RM should be determined within 3 to 4 trials. You will need a spotter, your subject, weights, bench press rack, and a barbell. A few things to keep in mind. The subject must have his head, back, shoulders, butt flat on the bench and his feet both flat on the floor. The bar itself should be centered so the weight is equally distributed. When bringing the bar down, the elbow should be bent 90 degrees just above chest level. To begin, the subject must warm up with light weight that easily allows between 5 and 10 reps. After the warm-up, allow the subject to rest between 3 to 5 minutes. Then, roughly estimate the next weight with which the subject will be able to complete 3 to 5 reps. After the first set trial, at 10 to 20 pounds, the subject should be able to perform up to 3 reps. After doing so, allow the subject to rest 3 to 5 minutes before the next trial. Keep in mind that all reps must be done at the same time with the same form. If the weight is lifted 1 time successfully, that will be the absolute 1RM. If the subject struggles and fails to lift the weight and the spotter must assist, the weight in the previous trial will be the 1RM. The 10RM, or reps to fatigue bench press, is a submaximal strength test that is used to assess submaximal muscular strength of the chest, shoulders, and triceps. This test is for individuals or subjects who have little or no experience with free weights. You will need the same materials listed for the 1RM bench press. You will need a spotter, your subject, weights, bench press rack, and a barbell. A few things to keep in mind. The subject must have his head, back, shoulders, butt flat on the bench and his feet both flat on the floor. The bar itself should be centered so the weight is equally distributed. When bringing the bar down, the elbow should be bent 90 degrees just above chest level. To begin, the subject must warm up with light weight that usually allows between 5 and 10 reps. In between trials, allow the subject to rest 3 to 5 minutes. The 10RM, or reps to fatigue, should be measured within 3 to 5 testing sets. After the warm-up, add weight to the bar and allow the subject to complete 10 reps. If the subject can complete more than 10 reps, add between 5 and 10 pounds. Anywhere between the 3rd and 5th trial, if the subject can only do between 1 and 10 reps, or less than 10 reps, the subject's 10RM is going to be that given number. In this instance, the subject was able to complete 9 repetitions until he needed a little assistance. This was the 9RM. The reps to fatigue strength test is used to determine the weight in which the subject would have been able to perform the 1 RM strength test. We can find the predicted 1 RM with the equation above, which shows the weight lifted by the subject over 1.0278 minus 0.0278 times x, which x is the number of reps performed by the subject on the last trial. Assuming that the bar weighs 45 pounds and the weight included on the sides is 60 pounds, the subject lifted a total of 105 pounds. When we plug 105 and 9 into the formula, we obtain a predicted 1 RM of 101.91 pounds, rounding it up to 102 pounds. So from the reps to fatigue strength test, we were able to determine that the predicted 1 RM for the subject was 102 pounds.